How you guys doing? This is step 4 in the process. We're here in our new construction house. We have passed our MEPs, which is mechanical, electrical, plumbing. We have passed our framing inspection. We are ready for insulation. We got the insulation done. As you can see right here, this is our garage, our partition wall. So you'll see we got our R30 insulation in there, and along our masonry walls, which is the exterior walls, we went ahead and we used a foil paper. This is has an R value of about 4.1. 4.1/5. I like to call it R4 foil. So this keeps a moisture barrier between the exterior of the house through our masonry brick, and then it provides a little bit of insulation. Not a lot, but just enough to pass the county minimum, if you will. And so with this process, we are ready for drywall. We are ready for drywall. People, this house is 90% complete already due to the fact that everything's done. Drywall, flooring, interior paint, and we are done. We're pretty much done. So I just wanted to walk you through it, kind of point out some stuff. This is the critical point. There's no turning back from this. Any holdups now, any mistakes that happen inside our structure wall is going to cost us time and money. Time because we got to stop production and go back and fix it and go in reverse. And money because it's going to cost us to do it. If we got to cut out drywall to fix an electrical issue, a plumbing issue, a leak, anything of that sort, it's going to cost us money. So right now I like to walk the property. I like to look at everything, make sure everything's nice and flat against the wall. So when my drywall guys come, they know there's nothing protruding out through the wall, nothing I need to worry about. One of the other things I like to do, and I'll do it right after this video, is we'll take a spray can of red spray paint and we spray all of the receptacles around the house on the floor, all of the switch plates, all of our plumbing, everywhere. We'll just go ahead and put a red dot. I do the same thing for ceiling fans, right? In the middle of the floor, I'll just put a circle with a C in it. Lets me know that right above it is a ceiling fan. I do the same thing for my can lights. Why do I do that? Guys make a mistake. My drywall guys move real fast, and sometimes they forget to cut around something. And before I tear up the whole house looking for an outlet, looking for a switch, I just go ahead and put a reminder on the floor to let me know that that's a socket there. So when I pre-walk or post-walk the job with my drywall contractor, I know that, hey, something's been covered up there. Something's been covered up there, and that gets us there. Most of the time, nothing's covered up, but it's always good, you know. Been in the industry as long as I have, things happen. So we just walk the property. We just make sure everything's kind of taken care of. We want to make sure all our receptacles now, insulation guys do cover things up too. So I don't want to make that known. So I make sure I got all my plugs, my receptacles for the kitchen. This is the wall that I'm really paying attention to. My exterior walls that got the insulation in them. One thing I noticed over here, I'll go right here. I noticed that at some point when my mechanical guys were in here taking care of putting in my dryer vent stack, I see that this stud is a little crooked. They nailed it in, so it's pretty solid, but I just noticed that it's crooked, and I just wanted to make sure my drywall guys know it and can handle it. I noticed that they unscrewed this a little bit. It's still sturdy, but it's just things that I like to be aware of and know what's going on. So I'll address those before my drywall guys get here, but that's just something that you always want to look at. Simple things like this. I want to make sure my drywall guys don't leave the whole thing in the wall. So we just put it here. I'll drop a staple here to show that that wire needs to be popped out there. One thing that happened on the MEPs, I'll talk about it. Typically we have what's called the chase. A chase is just a conduit pipe. It's empty. It usually goes from up under our AC platform to outside. In doing this structure, the slab, we were 3 inches too low. The county wanted us to bring the finished floor of the house up. So in doing so, I noticed that my slab guys, I didn't catch it at the time, but they covered up our chase. So instead of me chipping out the entire concrete, I went ahead and we just ran our copper line set. Instead of underground, we went up through the attic and outside. Now, that's typically not a problem, but the one thing that it made us have to do, if you will, is put in a pump. So now we'll have a condensation pump under our AC that once it fills up, it'll go ahead and pump the water up and out to go outside the house. So not a big deal, but it is an extra $450 towards the cost of the job that otherwise wouldn't have been there. So that little mistake of those guys, covering up that chase is a big deal. We'll go ahead and flowable fill it from the outside of the house just to make sure it's solid. But that did happen, and that happened in our MEPs. Yeah, looking around here now, everything looks good as far as insulation and moisture barrier. I just want to point out the cardboard is up top. I know one of the videos I posted before, somebody asked me that looked a little tacky, and I'll tell you what the cardboard does. The cardboard is part of the ventilation system. It's part of our efficiency factor of the house. So as we all know, heat rises. So we have two ways to release that heat. Up top, you'll see what we call off-ridge vents, which allow the heat to escape through the house. But that cardboard and the vents on the outside of the house, which are soffits, it allows fresh air to come in through the attic and push that hot air out of the attic through our ridge vents. So I just want to point out that those cardboard boxes, not a tacky look, they're there for a purpose. When we do our blow-in insulation, we don't want that insulation to clog up our soffit vents to prevent cool air from coming into the attic. So what that does is kind of keep the insulation below the cardboard and allow fresh air to come through the soffits and kind of come into that attic and push that hot air out through our ridge vents. All right. Our bathroom looks good. We got our shower pan still holding water, still under pressure. We got our vanity lines, hot, cold water there. I usually put mirrors in my homes. It's just like a little bit of an upgraded touch. Doesn't cost really nothing more. Maybe an extra $100 to the electrician, and the mirrors themselves is probably another $20 or $30 max, because we're already going to put mirrors there. So to get LED mirrors that have a little backlight, just give it a nice little touch. So you'll see those outlets are here, and those are Mark II. And again, red dotted the floor for those two to make sure they don't get covered up, because that's more of a custom style than it is in a spec house, which is what we're building here. Our closet looks good. I like to see my low voltage cable for our modem or anything. We always designate them to be in a master closet. So you'll see here, all our Cat 5 cables come to this point throughout the house for cable and everything. So we got that stubbed out here. So everything looks good. We're ready for drywall. I don't see anything that stop us from drywalling. Drywall set to get delivered tomorrow, which is a Tuesday. And then we'll have it done by Friday. This will be mudded, textured, and ready for paint. The exterior, we'll show you a glimpse of that. The stucco's done on the outside. And so I'll just go ahead and wait the next weekend. Next weekend, I'll allow my painter to come in and do both. Go ahead and put a coat on the outside, come inside, prime that fresh drywall, and go ahead and put a coat of paint on.